All right, and we are live. Hello, hello, friends. Yes. Super excited for
Okay, I'm freaking out right now.
you're freaking out. Why are you freaking out?
Because you're the first person I've ever gone on, you're the first channel I've gone on outside of my own. So,
Ooh.
yes. I was like, of course I'm going on Tiara's. Of course. This
I
makes so
love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so excited. This I'm even more excited now. This is awesome.
I'm freaking out.
Cuz we're going to be like, we're going to bring you some fire. We're going to talk about some awesome entrepreneur stuff. And, I think this is a perfect example of like, do it scared, do it nervous, like get out there and like show up in a big way. Yes. So welcome. This is Wine About It. And today we're going to wine about entrepreneurship, right? And I'm your host, the Wine Diva Tiara. And yeah, like I said, we're talking about entrepreneurship. So please, if you know anyone who is looking to start a business or runs their own business, share this broadcast out. I would really, really appreciate it because, I love to pair like life and business tips with like a really good glass of wine. That's what I'm here for. Every Thursday, we do this live podcast broadcast streamed to Facebook inside the Confident Creators. And I think I'm going to actually change that Facebook name. So be on the lookout for that. I'm really excited because, we're making shifts and I feel like the universe and the world is making shifts to like raise the consciousness. So I'm looking at conscious creators, friends. So keep that in mind as you're looking for the group. Also go live on YouTube. And the whole idea is just to introduce you to some phenomenal people as well as share some stories on how to live our best lives and give you some tips and tricks on how to raise your consciousness and do so much awesome things that your authentic self is calling you to do. So as you tune in, say, hey, tell me where you're tuning in from, leave a little love. Like I said, we go live every Thursday. So last week we went live with Cynthia Stance and we talked about the power of meditation. Next week, we're going to be speaking with Nikki Bagongo and we're going to be talking about getting out of your way. Like, get out your way so you can like live your best life, do all the awesome shit that you need to do. And then today we have Cat Janisko talking about entrepreneurship. And I think I said your last name right.
I was like, you nailed it, girl.
I was like, let's do this. Like, seriously, it's a thing. And, for those of you who are looking to be an entrepreneur, knowing someone's name is so freaking important. One of the things that I've learned in like marketing and different classes is people really love to hear their own name. And when you butcher it, it's like not the best thing in the world. And I personally, yeah, like with a name like Tiara, my name has been butchered God knows how many different ways and times. And it is what it is. I've been called completely different names that aren't even nowhere near Tiara. It just started with a T. And so that's what it is. But I like subconsciously, I kind of think about like, who am I going to work with based off of whether or not they say my name right?
I was just thinking that today because I was like, you probably get Tiara. Like, I'm sure you've gotten that so many times. But I just think of Tiara right away. When I was like, Tiara. I was
exactly.
What? And I'm like, yes, that's how I think of you.
Yes. Literally. Okay, so we're gonna do a high school flashback real quick. So walking down the hallway, I was
I can't I don't know if I can do this.
Let me toot my own horn. I was kind of a popular kid. So like there would be people sometimes I'd be like walking down the hallway and they'll be like, Tiara, and I'd be like, this is autumn. And like just like dance.
I can. It's so good. Automatic, supersonic.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God. It's so good. I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, can I just say you're so right about the name thing? Because and by the way, I posted in another group and it was a total joke, Tiara. And I was like, I cannot post in entrepreneur groups anymore, like jokes, because people get so heated. And it was like, I don't know if you saw this post, but I was holding up a piece of paper and it said, like, only spell my name with, or it's something about like people reaching out to me saying, hey, Cat, like on a DM with a K instead of a C. And it was honestly just a joke. I would never actually get infuriated by this.
Right.
So I posted it and I was like, only Starbucks is allowed to do that. People got so pissed off. They were like, oh my God, I can't believe you. You're so petty. I'm like, I can't. I got to take this post down. I took it down because it like warranted me. Right?
It's because the person that got mad at you for posting that, one, they don't have a sense of humor, and two, they know that they're the person that does those copy paste DMs and they forget how to change people's names, so they know they wrong.
I'm like, it's right there. That's the thing. Like, it's just a little bit of an attention to detail because it's right in the DM. So when you said, spell people's names right, say the name. I'm also a former news reporter. So if I don't pronounce something correctly, I get real weird about it and down on myself. And because you're in performance too. So
yeah,
this is a thing. This is a thing.
It is a thing.
So I get that. I feel that deep in my soul.
I feel like we could totally go off on a whole nother tangent about like DMing people. That's like a whole nother conversation. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later here. Maybe we'll do another podcast and we can give you some more like actual business tips. Because I have feelings about the DMs.
I think everybody has feelings about the DMs. Like, it's like a weird thing. Some people are like obsessed with selling in the DMs. Others hate it. They will not touch it. And as a business coach, my thing is you do you, whatever, like you do you, boo, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Like, it's not a one size fits all thing, but some people, like I'm telling you, some people are making like $70K a month selling in the DMs and it's amazing. I don't personally do that because I like to talk on the phone. I'm weird like that. I know. My God. She likes to talk on the phone.
What's a phone? What's a phone?
That's hilarious, but it truly is. It's like it's so relative.
That's so true. Okay, so we've like gone off, but so obviously we're excited for this podcast. We're excited for this topic. So again, invite your entrepreneur friends and share this out. So Kat, I would love it if you would just introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me, Tiara, by the way.
Oh, you're so
my
welcome.
name's Kat. I'm so honored to be here. I love wine. I love Wine Diva Tiara. It's the best. She's awesome, as you guys know already. My name's Kat. I'm a one-on-one business coach, and I also am the owner of Cat Janisko Beauty. So I have a product-based beauty business as well. Get it popping.
Yes, honey.
So that's me. That's why I'm here, and hopefully I can share something of value and not make people want to like die today.
I love it.
Cheers.
Oh no, this is gonna be fun. So yeah, I knew I had to level up and like make sure that my lips were like on fleek when I was like, oh, Kat's gonna be on here.
No,
so we gotta
the only reason I have this going on is because we have a social experiment going on right now called the Power Project. And we're doing a lip every day in the month of December to encourage empowerment and feeling like, yes, honey, when you look back at yourself. And my girlfriend knows, like, she's like, I cannot believe you're doing this because this is even out of my comfort zone. So I'm like, I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it. And we're staying strong. We have a Facebook group.
I love it.
Yes. Everybody's staying strong.
Maya's like, your lips match. I love it. I think hers is a little bit darker, but yes.
What are you sporting right now? It looks gorgeous.
It is. Normally I am not prepared, but it just happened to be on my desk.
Of course.
It is Mary Kay. So shout out to like Mary Kay consultants. Like my aunt has been a Mary Kay consultant since I was like 8.
Yes.
So you do that math. So it's Spice and Nice is the color.
I'm liking that.
Yeah, and it's like
ooh, yes.
Nice, deep, rich red. I usually go for like a more berry kind of color, but I don't know, feeling it.
I love the berry.
Yeah. I love it. It goes with wine. Yes. Yeah.
Of course. This one's iced. This one's actually called iced wine.
Ooh, yes. Okay, I'm gonna need to try that.
Just for
Speaking of like trying wine, every Thursday, of course, it's Wine About It. So there's always a glass of wine that's going to be had while we record and talk about the things. So this week,
I don't have any. I need to order some from you. I'm serious.
Yes. Next time you will have wine and it'll be even more awesome. So tonight I actually don't have one of my own wines. Tonight I have a bottle of Zaccardi Malbec, which can be purchased at, I know that like Albertsons, Vaughn's Pavilions, and Southern California has it. Bevmo, all that kind of stuff. If you're on the East Coast, maybe who would have it? What is it called? What's the wine place? Total Wine or Kroger, Harris Teeter. You can check it out. It's from Argentina, so just go to like the Argentinian section and see what they got. But if you like Malbec, it's a 91 pointer.
Oh my God. It's my favorite. That's like, I'm so jealous right now. I'm like salivating. You know, I love wine.
So
I'm like, I'm trying to keep my cool.
Maya says she has wine. What wine do you have, girlfriend? Let me know.
Yes, Maya.
Yes, honey. I just love drinking wine. It is what it is. So whether it's mine, whether it's somebody else's, I think it's always important to kind of just like expand your palate, try different things, which does bring me into Wine Club, because Wine Club is a perfect way to try different things, get a good deal on the wine itself. And so I recommend, if you love wine, to just check out the Wine Club, and I will drop the link to the club and more in the little comment chat box. Boom, there we go. And yeah, let's get to it. Ooh, Maya says she has a cab. Yes.
All right, I'm here.
We got magic going on here.
Your cab is good. Yes,
I love a cab.
Thank you.
Where's the cab from, Maya? Let us know. I'm a Napa cab kind of girl. Give me a little bit of like the berryness.
Oh my
God.
Oh my God. Honey. I'm getting one for the Mandalorian tomorrow night, because that's our thing right now. Oh, and Rosario Dawson was freaking badass. If you guys watched the show, oh my God, she tore it up. I was like,
we are so behind. It's so behind.
So good. Oh, Napa. Love
Napa. I love a Napa cab. Good job. Good girl, Maya. Good girl. All right. So, Kat, let's get to it. First off, what is your story and what led you to become an entrepreneur?
So it's a kind of an emotional story, as one usually has. I started, so this kind of like all dates back to my childhood, and I didn't realize this until later. And Tara, you've probably seen me talk about it a little bit, but years ago, I was in the throes of an abusive relationship with a narcissist, like definitely textbook. And guys, I'm going to be honest, like I didn't think that narcissism was a thing. So for real, this is me admitting this. And I've said it many times. I used to be that person who said ignorant things like, oh my God, narcissism is just a made up term. Like that's not real, because I grew up with parents who would say things like that. Their generation, right? Like the older, like this brain thing, that was not at the hallmark of health. And so I didn't realize that my childhood played such a role in who I dated later on in life. So during this relationship, I was like, honest to God, in the worst depression of my life. I was having suicidal thoughts. I was I was like, never in my life, because you know me, I'm like, love to have a good time, love to have fun.
Oh yeah.
But I felt so disconnected to this person. And every day it was like, put your shirt on. You look awful. You look hideous. Like you're just not attractive at all. And then it was like, would break the neck to look at other women right in front of me. And it was, but to everybody else, the farmer, right? Like, great. So that just, when somebody tells you that every day, you start to believe everything they're saying. So I was like, I felt worthless. I was like, this sucks. I just really hate myself right now. And when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, it's so hopeless and so depressing. Like that's all I can say, is that it's actually like this severe form of emptiness. Like you don't feel it. You feel upset about what you're going through, but it's not necessarily like, for a lot of people who go through depression, it's not like a sad feeling. It's just like, I'd be more at peace if maybe I were gone. And you start to think those things. And I remember thinking like, I don't know what made me do this, but I turned subconsciously to makeup. And I don't know, like every day somebody's like, you're awful, you're hideous. And so I started going to Ulta and Sephora, which I was also being tracked, by the way. My phone had a tracker on, or my car had a tracker on it, so which I didn't know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so lovely. So I would go to Sephora and Ulta. I would just bring a bunch of crap home. You know, the hauls, like $200
Yes.
in 10 minutes. And I felt, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I put that makeup on and I just felt like I'm back. You know what I mean? Like that's that bitch. Like there
Yes,
she
you're bringing
is.
your power back.
Yes. And so I started to, and I really like was thinking, why did I choose this? And it made all the sense in the world because when I was in middle school, I did the same thing. It wasn't that I was I'm not shielding myself. It's more of this like creative superpower in a way. It's an artsy form of something. And you know, because Tiara's into the liberal arts, you know,
Yes.
art territory. So Tiara Tory. So oh my God, you need to make a program.
Yes.
Territory. I'm serious.
Oh my God. I'm for it.
Trademark that. Trademark that if it isn't already. So I'm putting this makeup on, I'm feeling good, and I finally just mustered up this strength in myself. And I'm not saying a tube of lip gloss saved my life, but I started thinking like, this is not right. I haven't talked to my best friend in years. I haven't talked to my family in months. Like I have not talked to anybody in my life. And so I ended up leaving and I left a post-it note on, which was actually very kind of me to do in the grand scheme. I left a post-it note on the counter, walked out. I didn't even have all my stuff packed and I bounced. And during that time, I was like, I'm doing this beauty blog. And he was like, I don't think you should do that. You know, I don't want you putting a beauty blog out. And that's what I started doing when I was wearing the makeup and all this stuff. I just wanted to tap back into that passion. And I also was a beauty consultant too in my young 20s. So I have a connection to it. I love making other women feel amazing with beauty products. And so when I left that relationship, I was like, when you leave a narcissist, you're just a shell. Like you don't, most people feel like they don't have the meat and potatoes within them that they used to. I literally felt empty physically and emotionally and mentally. And I was like, that's it. I'm taking my life back and I'm going to do it in the biggest way that I know how, that I've always wanted to do. And I said, I'm turning this blog into a business. And that was the dawn of Cat Beauty. So that's what started the entrepreneurial journey. And then of course, through Cat and business building, I started to learn the value of mentorship and coaching. And so I eventually became a coach myself. And now I work with clients one-on-one, which is, and in groups. So that's my long-winded story.
That's amazing. I love that. I love it's a story of like, you know, taking your power back and really like stepping into who you authentically are and really going for what it is that you really want, what actually lights you on fire. And I think it's really important that, you know, people take away that like, you know, you've got to fight for yourself. You know, you can't expect somebody else to do it for you. You've got to like, you know, recognize what's going on around you and recognize if you're in a situation that isn't good for your soul, isn't like lighting you up, isn't making you happy, then that's a sign. You have to like shift.
Yes. And you need to stop making excuses for people too. And that's something that when you are controlled, because I grew up with controlling parents too, and there's narcissism in my family. And so I didn't realize that until later. When I went to therapy after leaving the relationship, I sat down and I started spewing these things about my mother, like of all people. And my therapist was like, you do like, you're not even talking about your relationship. You do realize you just went to the source of the problem, right? And I'm like, I had no, like, I didn't even know. So that's what happened. And the thing is, again, like you feel empty. There is a whole thing. And I have to say, I had a conversation with an amazing woman the other day. She's a narcissistic abuse coach. So she actually helps people transition out of that experience. And I love working with people in this niche, if you will, because it's just so much easier for me as a coach to guide them. I work with many different people, but I love working with coaches. And I especially love working with coaches who work in that world because seriously, Tiara, it's like you have to recreate who you are as a person. It's like this woman, I have no idea I have no idea who the hell that woman was. I have no idea. It's alarming actually, looking back on it.
There's like, it's just like so much to unpack in that realm of trauma, and you have to unpack it. You have to forgive, you have to let go before you can like move on. And so huge emotional things come in and tie into really like becoming an entrepreneur and success. So, and like your own words, who do you think can be an entrepreneur?
I think anybody who has it has, listen, I'm going to be honest, you have to have the right attitude. If you're optimist, if you're an optimist at heart, you see I know this is such a cliche thing to say, but if you see possibility in your life and you can see yourself and that future goal years and years and years down the line, like I say this all the time. I literally in my head every day am chilling in my brand new home that I just built. Like I am there mentally and I see it. And the thing about it is you have to embrace discomfort, because this is not an easy gig. It's not easy. And so many coaches promise this like overnight success. I'm not that coach. I'm not going to be that like fluffy with you. I'm going to be straight up, and I'm going to tell you, if you haven't started a business and you want to make 70K in a week, that might not be possible right now. That's extremely over the top. I've literally had people come to me and ask that. I'm like, that is fine. And you can absolutely manifest those things in your brain, but there's also work that comes into doing that as well. So the manifestation, Virginia says, yes, Virginia, yes. So the manifestation of those thoughts and really like visualizing it, being optimistic and being grateful for every little thing. And I'm talking about the shit moments too. Like being grateful for moments where you're like, I hate my life, but I know this is going to make me better tomorrow. Like that's the best thing you can do in this world.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And okay, so on the shit moments topic, because I really feel like I totally pulled cards before we did this live, because I was just like, I feel like there's a message that the universe wants the world to know. And I think it's really important. I came up with the Emperor and I came up with the Three of Swords. And so the Emperor is talking about like, there's like the Emperor and there's the Empress. So Emperor is like more masculine. So there's like the doing there. But there's still like, he's sitting in his sovereignty. He's sitting in his authentic self and his authority. Like he knows who he is, what he's doing, and he knows his shit is awesome. Like he knows that his product, his service, his whatever, like is ready to like be on fire. But on the flip, we've got the heart. It's a heart with three swords going through it, right? Wow. So that's heartbreak. So if you're not stepping into like who you authentically are, if you're not owning your shit, you're going to have some heartbreak. And it's business. So there's going to be ups and flows, ebbs and flows with it. Yes. So just owning that, like, okay, that was shitty. What can I learn from this? How can I own it? And then how can I like move on for it? And how can I grow from it?
Yes. That's so good that you just said that, because I just had a training with my students today, and I was telling them, I'm like, listen, people don't want to, they don't want to see you pop up and say, hey, I have a business now and this is so great and everything is wonderful. In fact, it's the complete opposite. You're going to be successful in business if you share the shitty moments. It's the truth. You will be successful because that's reality. And that's what people connect with. The pains that you feel, the struggles that you go through, being open to sharing that instead of saying, oh yeah, everything's perfect. It's not perfect. It's not perfect.
True.
It's never going to be
so true.
It's not. And that's the best part.
Yes. So like one of the things that I've learned, especially taking my business online, is that like, I was the same. I was like, okay, I have to be interesting and I have to be like, I have to be on point and I have to like, make life look so awesome, because no one's going to want to be like, no one's going to want to join my wine team if I share that there's like negative sides to it. No one's going to want to buy my product if like, I share, I really don't have anything negative that really happened to the product, but like that one time, maybe if I share the time that Jay like let a fucking cork fly through and hit our ceiling in our apartment, like, these things that
you can't really have a bad moment with wine unless it doesn't open. That's always a shitty one where the cork breaks. It's like, no,
not the cork breaking. The time that, or like you spill it.
My heart.
The times that you might lick wine off a table. I don't know.
Listen, I'm guilty. I'm not gonna, I try to
Been there,
take
done that.
it.
But overall, it was just like I was so focused on being interesting rather than being interested in like connecting with people and sharing our story and finding what like how we relate. And once that shift happened to really like creating community, connection, and conversation, so much like it just blew up.
It makes sense because people want to work with people. They don't want to work with entities. They want to work with people, especially in this situation with like with one-on-one coaching and taking one-on-one clients on. They don't give a shit what I did. They care what I can do for them and how I can support them, be it financially, emotionally, mentally, like what is in it for me. And if we're always channeling the what is in it for them, then that's great. That's what we want. That's where we want to be.
Yes. So,
Virginia's spitting mad truth.
Yes, Virginia. Okay, Virginia and I go way back. She's actually one of my coaches. I've worked with her for a while.
That's amazing.
And she's who I got my coaching certification through. So I am life and business certified through Virginia's Sovereign School. So awesome.
That is amazing. I love it. I'm so glad to be here.
So for those who are like thinking about making that shift from like maybe they work like a 9 to 5 or a part-time, whatever, going from like being an employee to like being their own boss, like what kind of tips would you have? And how can they get started?
Save money. Have it set aside. Here we go. I'm the worst because people are like, just tell me I can make all this money.
But you're telling the truth, and that people don't want to hear the truth sometimes.
I post about this all the time. Like people say, you want to quit your 9 to 5? Let's go. It's like, okay, well, yeah, let's quit your 9 to 5, but let's figure this shit out first. So we have, a cushion to lean on. You don't just leave. I mean, you could just leave. And then maybe if you have a supportive partner or listen, I'm not judging. And people who say, oh yeah, that person's partner supports them. Listen, that's their business. Literally. Yeah. If you have that and you have that support and you're okay with accepting it, that's fine. That's totally your business. I don't judge. I personally don't feel comfortable basically because I grew up in a matriarchal society.
Yes.
My mom's grandmother, my mother, it was always like, you will never rely on a man, and it's like,
make sure you have your own bank account.
Right. That's totally true. That's the goal, but always have money set aside. If you want to leave the 9 to 5, be practical about it and start while you're in your 9 to 5. Don't look at your 9 to 5. That's another thing I don't like is that yes, it's draining. Being in a 9 to 5, like it's miserable. I never will go back. Yes. I mean, unless you actually have your own 9 to 5 that you've created, that's different. but I will literally never go back because I can't do it. My soul gets drained. But I want you guys, if you are in a 9 to 5 and you want to leave it, again, here we go again. It's all about channeling the energy of that future goal. Are you going to look at your 9 to 5 as a support system for yourself? Or are you going to look at it as something that's shitty and that you hate and that you're so miserable with? That is a choice. Okay. That's a choice. The way that you look at your 9 to 5 is 100% your own decision. You can choose to look at it as financial support for your business and a larger goal down the line, or you can look at it as something that is completely wreaking havoc in your life and that you hate it. And that's fine. You can talk about that up and down when you leave it. But in the meantime, use it as a good source of energy and fuel, and try to channel your mindset into thinking that this is actually going to get me where I need to go. Optimism. It's all about, and I'm not saying toxic positivity. If you have a crappy day, allow yourself to feel the crappy day. I have cried so many times. So many times I cry. I just cried the other day. I'm also an empath. So, and I don't know if that's actually a real thing.
It is a thing.
It has to be, right?
Here, Virginia for sure is one too.
Oh my God. I mean, I feel everything. So the other day I told my
Mhm.
girlfriend who is a fellow empath, I'm like, I'm crying because I saw a funny commercial and I'm crying over the laughter. Like, I'm actually crying because it was funny. Like, I was so joyful that it made me
Mm,
tear up. And she was
I
like,
love
that
that.
is next level empath. I was like, yes.
Yes.
It
It
wasn't
is
even
raising the
intended.
vibrations of the universe.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't even intended to be a cry moment, but it was. And so that's what I'm saying though. Embrace it and use it for the
Mm.
good. Like I have clients sometimes who will say, man, and this is the reality, right? This is the reality of it. They'll say, you know, I have to go off and get a part-time job. This sucks. And I'll be like, it doesn't
Mhm.
suck, actually. No, it really doesn't suck because it's going to support the longer vision, like the
Oh,
long-term
yeah.
vision. So this is the beginning. You're going to one day wake up in your beautiful beach on the bay, whatever you want, right? Like if you're a beach girl, mountain girl, for me, it's the mountains. Wake up with a crisp air, the lake, which is like some people get so freaked out by lakes. Um, I've seen a movie or two on Netflix that has kind of changed
Lake
that vision
Placid.
for me. Yeah, I'm like Lake Placid. Did you know I used to be a news reporter and like I used to work in Lake Placid all the
Stop it. Stop it.
it. I loved it. So yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you are going to be there and you're going to be waking up living that reality. And you're going to look back on when you said, oh my God, this sucks so bad and just chuckle about it because look where you are now. But people give up on themselves before they even get started because it's
Oh,
impatient.
yeah.
Where and the marketing does not help. Like the marketing of the world, instant gratification that does not help mindset. Like the things that I see
Mhm.
every day, I'm like, oh my God, I can't. I can't do it. Like it doesn't happen overnight.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And I think, I mean, my story, so like I mean, when I think back about it, I was like, girl, you were like living the life. There was like nothing really to complain about. Yes, I had to show up to this office, but my boss wasn't like all like she was on a completely different floor. Like
Right?
I would go weeks without seeing her. Yeah, she might be in my inbox from time to time or call me or whatever, but like for the most part, like never saw her. So it wasn't like that big of a deal. But I just felt just like I just felt like weighted down because I had to do this thing in order to like make money and I was trading my time for money and I think it also made me upset was that like I felt like in this 9-hour day I am probably putting in like less than an hour worth of actual work. Like I'm just sitting in front of a computer waiting for something to like
Right.
someone to need me and I'm like I could be in my pajamas right now and I think that was like the main the main situation of like why I was just unsatisfied with like that status quo. And for a while I was like all right, well let me just like run my business during the day. But guess what, like during the day like wine is not necessarily the best thing in the middle of the day like because other people are at work, like you know I can't. And I was like but I can't go live right now because I'm at the office or I can't like. And I was just
Yes.
focused on the negative things and not focusing on the positive. And so when you think more about the negative, more negative things start happening, start spiraling and all of that. But then I made a shift. I got to work from home for a very extended period of time, mainly because I had
Wow.
had knee surgery. So that wasn't lovely, but like
Uh,
I still got to be home for a long time. And I was like, this is
optimist.
great.
I love that.
And
Gratitude.
the gratitude for that and like it raised my vibration, it raised my income from my business. And I got to a place where I was like eventually like, you know what, I could leave this job and like if I keep making the money I'm making, I can leave it. And I was like, cool, let's do it. Boom, gone, did it, left my job. And I was like, fire my boss, boom. And then like I got to a place where I was just like, all right, my money's starting to go down. I'm not making
Yeah.
as much as I thought I could make. I'm not sustaining myself anymore. Everything has to go on a credit card. Holy crap.
Yeah,
And then the
been
stress
there,
comes in.
100% been there. For real,
Yeah.
100%. It's
And
reality.
when you're stressing yourself out, it kind of gives you desperation breath when it comes to your business. So I say like if you find that you need to like go back to work or you find that you need to get a part-time job, do what's gonna like lift that pressure off. Because like
Yes.
finances is like the number one like stress causer in your relationship, stress causer for your
Oh,
own personal
for
self,
sure.
all of that stuff. And there's nothing wrong with you if you have to have that make that shift back to go forward.
Exactly. And here's another thing too, and you guys do this so well, and you're with your boo, okay? Get yourself well, don't get yourself a relationship. If you don't want a relationship,
Mhm.
then don't be in it. I'm 100% supportive. I have girlfriends who are like single for life. I'm like, I love it. Respect,
Knock yourself out, do
okay?
it.
But listen, if you have a partner who is just like my exes, literally every single one of them. And there's no bitterness because look at me now.
Yes, honey.
Like it made me 100% better and it taught me a lot about myself. But if you have somebody, and I see this all the time, who literally people will reach out to me and tell me this, and it breaks my heart, like breaks me. That's their partner romantically, which is a very intimate situation. That's supposed to
Mhm.
be your number one fan. Like that
Yes.
should not be the person in your life who is like, this sucks.
Preach.
You should not be doing this. I don't like that you're doing this. I can't tell you how many times my abusive ex said, I hate that you're doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. I don't want your face out there. They don't want you to be seen. That is not acceptable. And
Mhm.
people need to understand that that is not acceptable. But again, having been in that situation, it is very hard to see sometimes when you're in it and accept it and understand that it's not okay. Like setting boundaries and expectations is
Mhm.
was so hard. One of my therapists was like, "Have you set boundaries for yourself with your relationships?" And I'm like, "What?" Like I was like, "What are boundaries?"
What about you?
Boundaries? Like twirling my hair, like boundaries? So anyway, she told me that and I learned, but you need if you have a partner, this person, like I have to tell you a story because this is great. Last night, Keith was on the phone with his mom, and instead of saying to her, man, I'm like, we don't know where business could go. We don't know what could happen. He was on the phone and I heard him talking to his mom, and she's like, "How's Cat?" And he was like, "Cat is doing awesome. She's like crushing it. I'm so proud of her." And
Oh,
he came downstairs and I was like, "Yo, I heard you upstairs just bragging up on me." And I was like, "That means
I
so much to me."
love
Right. And then I mean, if you're with a narcissist, you appreciate that like tenfold. You're like, "Holy shit."
it.
But
Mhm.
he came down and he's like, "You heard that?" I'm like, "Yes." I loved it. That's the kind of support that you should have.
Mhm.
It's not that they have to agree with every little thing, but there should be
True.
healthy conversation around the decision. And I'm telling you, this will affect so many things if you don't address it now.
And it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had because I definitely when before I left my job I did have the conversation of like, babe, if my business isn't doing as well, can like what are we going to do about rent? Like are you okay with paying more rent than I do?
Right.
And different things like that. And so we had that conversation and he was definitely very like put his foot down on the fact of like, I'm not going to be your sugar daddy. Like no, that's not happening.
That's
But
me.
I also support what you like anything you want to do minus like getting up on a pole. Like
Yeah,
this is
exactly. Listen, I was like,
nothing
at one
against it.
point,
If people want to do it,
that's what
go
I'm
for it.
saying. I was
I'm
like,
just
at
not
one
allowed.
point, my ass could not, only because I'm hella out of shape. If I
I
could, I might. If I could, I might. I'm
There are
serious.
times I think about it really hard. I'm like, ooh, maybe I should, I really want that. I just spent like $600 on some crystals. I should probably
I
maybe I should.
cannot, because all I think about is Jennifer Lopez in that movie, and I'm like, whoo! Like that would not
Girl.
be me. That would be more. I'd be like Chris Kringle on a pole, and not the North Pole.
Yes, honey. Mm-mm.
I cannot. But
I cannot.
it all comes together. Personal life, having the healthy conversations. And I want
Mhm.
to let everybody know I'm not trauma certified. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist, but I've been to a lot of therapy and I've worked with a
Mhm.
lot of people in the field and I've learned a lot. So I just pass those down as good graces
Yes.
onto everyone else.
Experience can teach you so many things,
Yes.
sometimes way more than a certification or a degree can.
That's what I'm saying. And that's actually a good point too, Tiara, because a lot of
Mhm.
people, I just posted about like feeling self-limited and feeling self-doubt. And what people don't realize is that you can use your experience. You don't always need a certification to teach people valuable lessons. Like people saying, let's
Mhm.
go, you need to have a degree. You don't have to have a fucking degree. Like, you don't have to have a degree if you don't want a degree. You absolutely don't need it. If you have the skills of making money and you've made money and you're a business coach and you want to teach people how you did it, then where's like, you don't need a degree to do that.
You don't need it.
It's kind of like a nice bonus, but I'm telling you right now, every friend I have, and I'm not against education. I loved college so much. I would go back in a heartbeat because I loved learning. It was awesome. I really did. I went to Penn State too. So, and I did not party, by the way. Everybody's like, oh yeah, you probably partied all the time. Like, no, I was a loser. I went to class. That's what I did, but I loved it. I really did. So I'm not against it, but it is a lot of money. And I'd rather you make money and invest money in things that give you triple, quadruple return on that investment. And often college doesn't help.
For sure. I mean, I've got 2 degrees myself, and
do you really?
Like,
what are you?
Yeah, I have a degree in theater, and I have a degree in electronic and print journalism.
What? You do? I knew you had. Yeah. I knew you had theater, but I didn't know that you had electronic and print journalism.
Yes.
So, girl, this is why I connect with you, because we are cut from the same cloth. I love it.
My dad was like, you need to be I want to be an actor. Dad's like, well, you could be like a reporter, and that would be like kind of in the middle there. I'm like,
that's what I did. And then I told my parents, I hate the news, and they're like, oh my God, what is this girl gonna do? And then that's me. I was like, working at QVC, because I was like,
I hate the news.
Yeah, right. And I was like, I need something to be honest with you, I do need something like a little fluffier and lighthearted. Yeah. I loved morning news because I was like, good morning, everyone. And it's like lighter and there's more feature stories.
Yes.
That are fun, positive. So I did love that. But that's, that's just the way the cookie crumbled for me. And I don't even, it's funny because I used my degree and I don't regret it because it taught me things that I use in my business now, like a lot of amazing things. But do I need it to survive? Probably not. I don't want to discredit it though. So I have like weird mixed emotions on it.
Oh yeah. Like I totally agree. It definitely helped me get my job. It helped me, get money in the bank. But like overall, in terms of my business, there's little things that I've learned throughout, but like overall, I could have figured it out on my own somewhere else.
Exactly. Virginia.
Yeah. And fun fact, she actually was a theater major herself.
Oh my God. Stop. Yeah. You guys know I studied music in Nashville. I think I might have told you that, Tiara, but I'm all about it. I studied vocal jazz for a couple of years, and then I translated. Yes. I was all about caves, and I was in a group called Jasmine. We sang around Nashville. Yeah, it was awesome. And our professor's name was Kate Paradise, which I was like, oh my God, that woman's voice. Holy crap. I mean, the coolest chick ever, and her voice like butter. And of course she loves Ella as much as I do. Ella Fitzgerald, our human instrument of a woman. Like, I love it. I just get like deep.
Oh, so good.
When I talk jazz.
Yeah, I was like, oh, like, did we just like get onto like the jazz channel? Like, I'm thinking of like my dad, and it's like smooth jazz.
Oh my God, love it. He's like, this is elevator music. I'm like, no, we're listening to it all night.
Yes, it's for the grown and sexy, y'all. If you're not old enough, you can't handle it.
You cannot handle it tonight.
Oh my gosh.
I'm reading. I didn't see anybody's. I'm like reading the comments now because I can see them because I had it on private chat before.
Beautiful. I love it.
Oh my God. This is so crazy. Someone said, literally started my business with a title car loan and the trunk of my car. That's like right there. That's amazing. What business is that? That's awesome.
Yes, Maya. What business is that? I love that.
Maya. That's amazing.
I can see on like my end. I pulled it up on my phone because sometimes I can't see like who the person is if they didn't give StreamYard permission and all of that. So we're talking about school and education, but I still feel like you can't really necessarily do it alone. It's definitely a lot easier once you have like mentors that have been where you want to go. They've been through what you've been through. So why is it important to have a coach?
I'll say this, you do not need a coach. You
Mhm.
don't need a coach. But it will save you a hell of a lot of time, especially if you have a good coach. Because, like you said, Tiara,
Mhm.
they've walked the walk, they've talked the talk, they've felt the pain, they've had the moments that they effed up, and then they share it with you and tell you not to do it. My coach
Yes.
is always like, "Don't do that. Don't do it. I did it." And I've literally dodged so many bullets because of her. I'll be like, "Thank you so much for that," because I would
Mhm.
have absolutely done that. So it's really just modeling by experience. And I think people need a coach because it's an accountability partner too. When you're in it alone, it's like you're in it alone. It is very hard to self motivate. Let's not even talk about the gym. I am not somebody who's if you can't tell, like with my double chin here. Yeah, I can't. I
Stop
can't.
it.
My breakouts from eating dairy too much. Like we're just like I have a nice little tub of, jelly down there right now. I'm
It
very
is comfy
decadent.
season. It is time to, like, treat yourself with comfort and
Correct.
love.
I
That's
kind
the
of
time of
listen, I
year we're in
love
right
I
now.
love it though. Here's the weird thing, like, I look at myself and I'm like, "I love it." Like, I
Yes,
Isn't that
I
weird?
love curves.
I
I'm all
love
about
me
it.
too. I love your curves. I love curves, period. Like, I look at it and I'm like, okay,
Honey.
little pack, yes. So, so anyway, accountability partner. Okay, I'm totally getting off topic, but
No,
yeah,
you're fine. I love it.
listen, the mistakes are big because I was talking today. I had a beauty training, so
Mhm.
this is the first time I did it. People were like, "Can you teach me how to build a beauty business?" Because I know you
Mhm.
do that as well. So we had a beauty business training today on Facebook, and I was talking to them about all of the mistakes I made, like every f up,
Yeah.
and they were like, wait, it's so funny because during the training, they're like, "I shouldn't worry about that. I am so worried about it, but why are you telling me not to worry about it? Why I should be worried about that?" I'm like, "No, trust me. You don't have to worry about this." Like the packaging, for example, that was a big mistake
Mhm.
I made. I spent a lot of money on packaging. I didn't need to do that. I didn't because
Just going
that's
to go
not
in the trash.
throw it in an envelope and send it off. I mean, people, yes, it's a nice touch. And yes, with beauty, I'm not saying aesthetics aren't important. Yes, they are. But when you're starting off, save
Mhm.
money as often as you can. So that's one of the things, too, that your coach can save you a lot of money. They can show you the free resources without you having to spend months and months and months looking for them yourself. They already have the answers. It's like a little encyclopedia for business right in front of you, just telling you what to do. It's like telling you what to do. If I'm at the gym, I don't want to I'm not going to do it. I
Yeah.
know myself. I know myself. It's not fun for me. So having somebody to talk to the whole time who's like, all right, 25, like then I will do it. Somebody's telling me to do
Right,
it.
right.
So that's why do you like having a coach? Can I ask you?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love having a coach for, well, one, it's like you said, they've been there, they've gone through it. So I can learn from their experiences, which is very important for, I know some people will like, they'll hear someone else's experience. They're like, oh, okay, but that's not my story. And then they go do the same thing. And then they're like, oh, now it is my story. Fuck.
Exactly. I can't
So you
relate.
gotta be coachable. You have to be coachable. So no that.
Listen, I don't even want to get started on this, but that is so beyond true. I can't tell
Mhm.
you how many people come in and they're just stone cold and they're like, I don't want to do that. I want to do it this way. And I'm like, that's fine. I sit here and because I'm not gonna force you to do something.
Mhm.
But it's funny because those are the same people who come back and say, this didn't happen for me. And it's
Didn't
like,
work.
this is why it's hard for coaches to offer guarantees because sometimes people are so challenging. They don't want to
Mhm.
do the work. And there's a lot of fear there too. Like there's a lot of, insecurity there as well. And I've been there, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I want to do that, but there's something deeper there, like some sort of, and a lot of people
Yeah.
say it's trauma. A lot of people, it could be, but there's something deeper there that's holding them back from doing it. Sometimes it's the fear of responsibility. I was talking to my girlfriend
Mhm.
about, she's a coach as well. And she was like, I was thinking about like the fear of responsibility and, getting to a place where you have to be every step of the way. Like your growth is endless.
Mhm.
This is eternal in business. You are never going to reach a point where you're just like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't see Gary
I'm done.
Vaynerchuk sitting
Mm,
around saying like he still
no,
hustles so hard. Like
he's
he is
doing the things.
Energizer Bunny, like ridiculous. And you don't just sit back. You always are creating. You're always finding new ways and loopholes around certain things in your business. And so it's
Mhm.
always going to happen. And I think people like we do fear success in that way because with success comes more responsibility. And sometimes we
Oh,
try
yeah.
to talk ourselves out of it. Like, shit, if I get to that level, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it.
Oh yeah, I know. That's definitely been something of mine. Like I was working with my Reiki practitioner, and I'm like, going through and unpacking all of these different emotions, and that came up, and I was like, one of the things of why my business wasn't the way that I wanted it to be was that like that fear of success. That like, okay, well, here is mediocre and it's nice and it's easy, and I don't necessarily have to touch my business every single day
Right.
if I stagnate here. But if I take the step further, oh man, then I have people to train. I have people, to like, I have to like really be good at like customer retention and all this stuff, and like all of that. And I'm like, that just sounds like a lot of more work. I want my job to be easier the more I go up, not like harder. And the idea of like, but mate, you can delegate when you start getting up to those higher things. That's when you
Yes.
can hire a like business like manager
Right.
and copywriters and all of these other beautiful things. So
Yeah.
there's really nothing to be scared of except for yourself,
No, it's so true. And you can delegate. And yes, you have to train those people and teach them
Mhm.
your process, and that can take time. And I remember when like way back when I onboarded someone for the first time, I was like, don't do this. Do not do this. My OCD was kicking in. I was like, oh my God, what if oh, but I do it this
Yeah.
way. You guys like let people make that is the hardest thing about managing people, because you have to allow the mistakes to happen. And
Mhm.
I never thought I was going to be like that. But when it's your business, it just, it takes on this new meaning. It's like,
It's
oh
your
my God,
baby.
it is. And I was like, oh my God, oh no, like, please don't have it up. Even though, like, the thing is, the more grateful you are for your team, right? And it's coming
Mhm.
from a good place. It's not like, you don't want somebody you think they're gonna suck or something. It's coming from a good place. You had a system for so long. You have to trust. You have to trust, and you have
Mhm.
to make your team feel valued and respected and loved. And that's going to make for a great experience. Like, as long as you have
Mhm.
that, like I always say, this is not like you're reporting to me. I want to be in this collaborative effort. So I always ask my team members, like, what do you think about this? Like, what would you do?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're all working together. This is not, there is no podium of first, second, third. This is
Mhm.
the same playing field.
It's a team. We're all working
100%.
together to get to a common goal.
Yes. Yes. 100%.
Love it. I love it. I love it. So for people that are like looking to like maybe find a coach or find some mentorship, where do you recommend they go?
So you can go anywhere you want. There are resources online. If you want to buy courses online, you could literally type in business courses and find them for, I mean, they're going to be self-guided and they won't be as personal. But here on
Mhm.
Facebook, there are so many coaches. On LinkedIn, there are so many coaches. Social media is an amazing resource to find. And I don't even want to say like just coaches, like real people, like people
Mhm.
who have been through shit that you can more than likely relate to. I found my coach on Facebook, and she is
Mine too.
amazing. Yes, she's amazing in every way. Like, she's a friend of mine now, and I just adore her. I adore her for so many ways. She's a mom. She has two boys. They're in the background on our calls fighting. And she's like, I
Yes.
can't today. I'm like, I love it. And it's just this personal experience, and you bring so much good energy into your world. But yes, you can find a coach anywhere. I will say this, and people operate differently. I had somebody reach out to me the other week and was like, I'm good on mindset, but I'm trying to find a coach who focuses on strategy. Like, I want to move to that direction, which obviously I'll cater to that if that's what you need. Some people are like, I just need emotional support. That's also
Mhm.
fine. But I always choose, call me crazy, I always choose my coaches and programs on intuition and just how I feel. Um,
Yes.
if this feels right to me, I'm probably going to do it and invest in it. And there is something to be said for investing in yourself. And because here's the thing, I did the freebie thing for so long, and that's fine. It just takes forever. So if you want to fast track it and get there faster and quicker, not like overnight, but if you want to get on the road now and start really growing, that's when you enlist the help of a coach. Like I just got to a place where I was like, I can't watch one more YouTube video. Like I can't do it. It's just too many thoughts going. There's a podcast
And
here, an article there. Yes.
It's trying so hard to be cookie cutter a lot of times when you're going for that freebie thing, because it's not niche down to exactly what you're trying to do. And what I have found is like that, like extra investment into like getting one-on-one coaching, or, you know, working in like small group coaching. So like you can do, maybe you do like a monthly subscription to someone's Facebook group and they do whatever. And like, that's great. And you're getting good information, but as you grow, so does your mentorship, is what I found. So like invest in what you can. And then as you're getting like bigger and bigger and bigger in your, you know, income, then invest bigger and bigger and bigger into your coaching and like who is educating you. Because if they're at like, if your coach is at a level that you're already at, or maybe like just a little bit above, like that's kind of like all they can really like kind of push you to. Like if you're looking to be like, you know, that 7-figure earner, and that person, and like you're getting coaching from someone that is like, you know, still struggling to hit 6 figures, there might not be the right person for you. So kind of really thinking about aligning with the right people and at the right timing.
Yeah. I mean, it's really like looking at a bio of everybody and just figuring out like, okay, picking out the a la carte things that you need from them, but also having conversations. Like I can't stress it enough. Another thing that I learned that was so helpful, and I think I'm going to create a program on this myself because I don't feel that it's talked about enough. I was telling my coach, I was like, this would be amazing. Management of communication with you and your clients. Like that is a whole different animal of like how to handle clients. Like, how do I handle the communication between myself, my clients? How do I onboard? How do I offboard at the end? Like, what are the right things to do? It's just, there's so much. Because my mom actually put the idea in my head because she was like, I wish you could teach a course on, she works at the VA as a nurse practitioner. And she's like, I wish you could come here and teach a course on communications. I'm like, what do you mean communications? And she's like, just between ourselves, our patients, and then also the staff, so that we have a smooth running operation. Like, how can we better communicate and build relationships together to make this a better overall experience and more successful? And I'm like, that is really good, Roxanne. Like, I was like,
yes,
good job, Roxanne. Yeah, Roxanne. She's like, I hate that song. I'm like, okay.
Of course, I think every Roxanne does.
Anytime my dad sings it, she'll say she hates it. Yeah, because they're just like, oh my God, married for 47 years. I cannot. They're something else. Love
it. I will say, like, to that like point, I think I know. And like doing this online for, I don't know, 3-4 years now, I think I've only met one person whose business was a focus on, you know, customer retention and customer communication and like, you know, coaching people on how to like set up like automation and all that kind of stuff for staying connected. And, you know, a lot of her comments and her like education really talks about the fact that like, you know, a lot of times we're so focused on trying to find the new person that we're like forgetting the people that have already like worked with us. And guess what? That person is like probably going to be your best customer, especially if you, like you just said, you're coming up with a new program. So, you know, rather than trying to find a new person that might need that, why not like look with the people that have already love you, that already invested in you. They're more likely to come back, and it's going to be a lot easier to like get them to buy your thing than like some brand new person that you have to build a relationship with.
Those are your, I call them your VIP, like those are your OG VIPs. Like they're your ambassadors. Like they're actually the investors in your business. They're actually your investors. I say this all the time to product-based business clients. Use your loyal customers. Those are investors. Okay. Because now they're investing in a product and they're going to share it with everybody they know because you've taken the time to appreciate them and what they're providing. And that is, yes, Virginia, love my lifers. That's correct. And that's truly the lifers are where it's at. They will share your business like wildfire if you approach the relationships the right way, the way they should be done. Don't forget them.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So if anyone's like, oh my gosh, I love Kat's personality, I love like her just raw and ready to like rocketness, how can people like work with you?
Okay, so you guys can just DM me if you want to. I have a couple spots open for one-on-one. I'm doing a lot of group lately. So if anybody's into group, I feel very elevated. I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but I feel very elevated in a group setting. Coaching is a lot of fun for me there. I do small groups as well. We have a small group program right now. It's 4 weeks and it's the best because I can focus on people more than I could in a larger group. So I do have 2 spots though that I have open for one-on-one. I'm trying to focus on my groups at the same time. So it's a little bit challenging, but I said 2 and 2 is good for me. So if you guys need a coach, reach out. I'd love to talk to you too. I'm not going to be like, yes, reach out and then I'll sign you on. Again, this is another thing too, is as a coach too, you have to see, if it's going to be a fit. And it's okay to tell people it's really not. Don't chase it so hard that you sign somebody on and then you're not able to help them. So that's another thing too. It's like, if it's not a fit, that's okay. There are other coaches out there who will be a fit. But that's how I roll. So if you want to have a conversation, guys, reach out. Would love to know what you do. Oh, Tiara. Oh no. Are you there? I think we lost Tiara. Am I still here? Yes. I was like, am I still here? Oh my God.
Oh yeah. No worries. I was like, what's going on? But yeah, I love like that is a perfect point. And to say that, I was just gonna say, like, you can totally, it is fine to like fire a customer or a potential client. Like it's not, there's no, like your own well-being should not have to be sacrificed just to like make a buck, if that makes sense. So like it's totally cool to like make sure that you align both like with that client and your services align for what they need, so you're both happy. You're not going to get a good recommendation from someone that that wasn't needing your product or service, even though you like put your heart and soul into it, and vice versa. Like if they're asking you for all sorts of off the wall things that is not in your wheelhouse, like you're not gonna be, you're gonna be frustrated trying to work with that person.
That's what I'm saying. Like with what you do, Tiara, too. Like if somebody said to me, can you teach me all of the things about the spiritual realm and like being a psychic? I'd be like, I'm not in tune. I love it. I love it so much, but I can't teach you that because I'm not, I don't have that. I mean, I love it and I go to my psychic medium all the time, best. I'm probably too deep into it. Somebody was like, you need to stop with like your psychic stuff, tone it down. I'm like, no, it's a new form of therapy for me. Like it really is.
I love it.
Amazing. And I keep angel numbers too. And whatever you guys want to talk, I keep Tiara. It's been so heavy lately. Like, and I feel like everybody's seeing it too. Like every time I look down, there's an 11 after the number every single time.
Yes.
And then I told my girlfriend who's like real into the spiritual space, I was like, shit, I saw a 444. And she was like, no, don't say shit. That's actually good. It means you're going to level up. It means you're leveling up. I'm like, really?
It's so good.
I love it.
It's so good. It's so, I love it. So many good vibes.
So good. I love it.
Oh, that's amazing. So is there anything else that you would like to share on the topic of entrepreneurship or on working with you, all of that goodness?
I just wanted to say I love you all. I know because I'm always about saying I love you. It's weird, right? Like, but we don't hear it enough. So whoever out there needs this, I just want you to know I do love you. And if you need a shoulder, please reach out. I'm a very emotional freak. So like I've been through it, man. I've been through it. I get it. So
there's never such thing as too much love. Love is so, the world needs it. Yes. Sending it out.
Such a good song, isn't it?
It's such a good song.
Love it, man. It's great. I'm so thank you
No,
so
that's
much
gonna be
for being here. Just it's such a privilege. It means the world to me.
yay. Oh my gosh, I definitely want to have you back. And so good. Such a good
Oh my God.
conversation.
I adore you. And I love you.
I love you.
Oh my gosh. You are so sweet.
Thank you so much. Thank you all who were watching, listening, all of that good stuff. It is really appreciated. Love you big. If you want to help create, like, continue to have this amazing conversations and more of these kind of different talks, please visit the Confident Creators Continue Conversation Facebook group, name to change soon, I'm sure. Make sure that, yes, I'm so excited. But yeah, it's definitely hop in there, leave any sort of comments, ask your questions over there. Also, I do have a Patreon, so if you're looking to just like financially support, continued content creation, the Wine Diva Tiara Patreon, I would love and appreciate if you could support there as well. I'll drop the link in the chat box. And yes, I'm excited to continue to bring you more and more content each and every week. So see you next week, and cheers. And thank you again, Kat, for being here. It was amazing. You're amazing. Love you.
So are you, my dear. I love you too. Thank you so much. It was an honor, truly.
Cheers.
Love.